for homework. So once you have your Excel estimate template, now I again only have 3 tabs here. You guys will have one for each active CSI division. You can add a new sheet by clicking down here. And I would just click and hold and you can drag that one to the beginning. It makes sense that your recap sheet's at the beginning, not at the end. You can call this tab recap or summary, something along those lines. And what this tab is going to do is it's going to compile all of the information from your other estimate tabs so that when you are printing or presenting or reviewing an estimate, you can see on one sheet pertinent information from everything. And then if you want more detail about each CSI division, you go to those detail tabs. So in your recap sheet, we're going to again have to do some constructing of columns here. So we're going to have a division column, division or section, description, a description of what that division is, a material total, material cost, labor cost, subcontract, equipment, total. And again, you can auto fit these rows so that they match the size of the text. Something like labor where it's small, I wouldn't auto fit it because then your numbers might get a little crunched. And you may have to, when you start doing estimates and start adding into it, if you have a really long number, you're doing an expensive estimate, you may have to adjust those rows again once there's numbers in there. And that's easy enough to do. So we'll start here, right, division. So 1000 or 1, or however you named it with your sheet. Right, and so on. This is general conditions or general requirements. And so on. And you'll fill those in with each CSI division. So yours will be much bigger than the one we're going to create today, if that makes sense. Okay. So once you have your rows and things in here, the next step, you can go through and do some formatting, but I find that if you do all your formulas first, that way when you're dragging formulas around, you don't mess up your borders and have to redo them anyways. Does that make sense? We're using quick copy to drag formulas. It drags the format of that cell as well. So if you drag from this cell, which doesn't have any borders, all the way to totals, it's going to delete the border at this line right here because there wasn't a border on the cell that you copied the formula from. So once you have all of your divisions typed in these columns over here, you're going to link them to the information in these other tabs. So you'll have detail tabs for each estimate division, and they'll all be linked to this recap sheet, and then we'll do some additional formulas again at the bottom that I'll show you shortly. So for your division 1 material, you can link across pages. So you're simply just going to push the equal sign, go to the division you're linking to, right? And the first column was material. So those yellow cells that we highlighted, or whatever color, I highlighted them yellow on here to make them an easier target to find. So I link to that. So this cell is going to equal tab name is in single quotes, exclamation point, and then cell address. So I'll do the same thing for labor, equals labor total. Yes, it's left click. Right click opens a menu. Yeah, so make sure you're left click. So again, subcontract equals tab subcontract total, enter. Equipment, totals, it's not bad once you get the pattern. It is a lot of clicks when you're trying to link these, but it goes pretty quick. You can also, you can't drag these down. If you drag these down, what it does is it changes your cell address. It doesn't change your tab number. So if you created these the way we were supposed to last class, you could go in and type them. So we know it's this one here in this case is I-20. Right? I-20. So you can change the name, right? Again, I-20 you can type, and then this is our 3000 tab. So you can do it that way. I don't have anything in, I don't have a masonry tab. So I'll go ahead and get rid of those. So you can do it by typing, you can do it by linking. I think just going through and linking is the quickest way. Labor total, subcontract total, equipment total,
It's going to be the same numbers for now.
For now, it'll be the same numbers. Now I'll go in and after I link these, I'm going to change some of my examples so you'll be able to see that they're different in how they link. When you actually do an estimate, they won't be the same.
So when you change numbers in the divisions, they'll change on this sheet right here?
Correct. Okay. So I'm just going to just delete some things here to change. Again, when you make modifications in a tab, you don't want to delete any of the columns that have formulas. They'll just go to 0, right? So if you're going to use that line, if you're not going to use that line, you know, you don't really want to have one of these tabs with one line on it and then a whole bunch of blank spaces. I doubt that'll happen when you do an estimate, but clean it up a little bit. So for the concrete, maybe we have, I'm just going to put in some fictitious things here. 500 square feet, and again, I'm just putting in, these numbers really don't have any meaning to them. They're just example numbers. Maybe rebar. We have 10 tons. And maybe you sub that out. Again, these numbers are just, they don't mean anything. Don't think that these are accurate numbers when you go back and reference them. Maybe whatever, vapor barrier. And 500 square feet, and maybe it's $1 and $1. Okay, so see, I just changed this this tab here. I'll get rid of this line item. So we can see that it's adding correctly, based on down here. You can always verify it by double clicking in a cell. So this cell here is now worth $34,000 as opposed to previously when it was worth $56,500. So you can see that any changes that I made in that cell show up right here. So when you link the cells correctly, it makes a huge difference. I had some students last year that did not want to go through the effort of linking all of these, and what ends up happening is when you actually do your estimate, it doesn't automatically do this, so then you have to constantly go back and forth and update it, and it's incorrect, and it really doesn't do you any favors at all. So I'll go in here. Maybe I'll just change this one here. So now we have 3 tabs. You can see they're all different. I'm going to save. You should be saving pretty often. Excel is it's pretty stable, but these computers, if they push an update and there's a forced restart, or if there's a power outage, today it's snowing, one of your classmates could crash into something on campus and take power out. Yes, that did happen. So these here, I'm going to change the formatting, if you remember how to do that. So I'm going to highlight the cells, right click, format cells, and I'm going to format these as currency with no decimal places. Makes it nice and neat. I'm going to save again.